Good Friday morning. Welcome into the Real Monica Adams show. It is February 9th and we're heading into a big weekend for the Grand Parade. Will you be going down the festivities? They have the Mayor's Ball. Weather-wise, it is so typical St. Louis. Warm weather and then snow. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to bookend the weekend as you're heading back into work next week. We got a watcher for you. We've got our aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore joining us as well, talking about the St. Louis Working Women Show. We're going to talk about some of the merchandise that we are now selling on our website and what is to come for you that we will debut at the Working Women Show. Can't wait for that. And of course, it's Super Bowl weekend. So as you tune in over the next hour, let me know what your plans are this weekend. Are you going to go and partake in everything that I just mentioned? You're going to go down to the Mayor's Ball, the Grand Parade, have a big Super Bowl party. Are you hosting? Are you going to one? And how about predictions? Before we wrap up today, let's take a look at all the predictions of who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. And what do you think the spread's going to be? I'm taking the Chiefs by 10. I haven't changed. I said that last week. And I know some of the odds makers will wait as they get closer into the Super Bowl weekend to switch that up again. Nope. I say the Chiefs are going to win by 10. Let's see what Beckett says. Let's bring him on. Aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore, good morning to you.
Good Friday morning, Monica.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I mean, everybody's got a smile on their face. We're so super happy because of that sun that's behind you. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous today. You and I were talking before we went on about the record high for this day. And what was it and how long ago?
75 degrees, and I think it was in 1943.
Holy cow. And we're going to kind of flirt with that today, aren't we?
Close. Yeah, we're going to get close to it, definitely. So our bus stop forecast today, here in the morning, already up to 55 degrees and sunny. We will have increasing cover and cloud cover throughout the day, but still going to be very nice. Look at that temperature, 71 degrees February 9th. Definitely don't see that a lot. That's about 25 degrees above average with a partly sunny skies. Now your 7-day outlook again today. Mostly sunny. Some clouds will be around, especially into the afternoon. Low of 45, again, high of 71. As we go into Saturday, increasing cloud cover, mostly cloudy. Could we see some sun? Yes, but there might be a couple of isolated sprinkles around in the morning. Low of 34. Sunday gets a little bit chillier. We get down to 45 degrees, low of 34, mostly cloudy. Monday, that's when we're watching for a storm system. Now, overall, the storm system is looking weak, and look at that, 40 degrees, so it's not very cold either. Right now, I'm thinking it's going to be mostly rain. Could we see some snow? Yes, so stay tuned to the forecast over the weekend, but Monday does look like a day we're going to have to watch. I think it will be mostly rain because of those warmer temperatures, but maybe Monday morning, Monday night, we could see some snow mixing in for those commutes. So definitely going to have to watch that. Monday, high of 40, again, pretty warm, low of 31. Tuesday, 44. Wednesday, another day where we're going to have to watch for some rain, 45. And then Thursday, dropping back down to 40 degrees, but a lot of sun, and then we're going to have to watch that system on Monday.
Okay, so let's go back into that again because I was flipping around yesterday and then early this morning before I trained my clients. And depending on who you're watching, they're showing kind of a line of who could get maybe some accumulation. It didn't look like it was in throughout St. Louis, maybe a little bit to the south. I looked a little bit into Illinois. Is that what you're thinking? And I'm listening to you. Are you considering it to be more later beyond the morning commute on Monday?
For right now, the exact timing isn't known, but I think definitely we've seen trends on the weather models to the south, a weaker system, so maybe not even getting much moisture at all. So we have seen that trend to the south, and we'll have to watch if that continues and if only areas to the south get that precipitation.
Okay, sounds great. And then because we're going to feel like it's going to be so gorgeous, today is amazing. And then everyone's going to go out to the Mardi Gras Grand Parade tomorrow and they're going to be like, oh, it's cold because it's going to feel so much different.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely. And then we will have that increasing cloud cover around, a couple of sprinkles around, but probably won't affect the outdoors much. It's just going to be a couple of stray sprinkles.
And Becca, trust me, you're nowhere near the age of drinking, but they won't care. I can guarantee
Definitely.
you.
Yeah.
They're down there. Please do me a favor if you are going to the Grand Parade, designate a driver or take Uber or Lyft or something on those lines. St. Louis Police and St. Louis County, they are assisting them. They will be cracking down on underage drinking, so don't even try it. All right, Becca, before you leave us today, I'm super excited to tell everybody about this. Beckett is going to be on the Tamron Hall show this morning at 11 o'clock, and that's here locally on KDNL ABC 30. That was actually on Facebook. It went out from Beckett's mom yesterday. I know she's super proud, and there it is behind Beckett. How did this all come about, my friend?
So they were doing a show on kids with big dreams, and I'm definitely one of them. So they chose me, and I'm very grateful and thankful that they're having me on.
So you had a chance to be interviewed by her?
Yes. Well, I got interviewed by a producer,
Okay.
and I think that's going to air as a small package during the show.
Well, I will tell you, they reached out to me and they wanted to know if it was okay to use some footage of
Yes.
you being a part of our show. I think they're going to use the big thunder snow day, which
That's
of course was
awesome.
our favorite. I think
Yeah.
well, I actually haven't asked you that. What has been your favorite of being part of our team?
Probably the thunderstorm moment.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
And it's really cool that it happened live on the air because
Yeah.
it's those kind of things that we couldn't have timed that. Both of
Uh-uh.
you and I both were like, "Hey, did you see that?"
Yeah, I had no idea it was coming. Yeah.
Well, I know you're going to be heading off to school, so is your mom going to DVR that for you?
I think so, yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm so proud of you. And my guest that's coming up a little bit later this morning, she was asking, which is a good question, what do all of your friends at school and all of your family, what do they think about this stardom you've already had? Because not only Tamron, you were just at the Storm Chaser Summit and you were on the Weather Channel. You've been interviewed a couple of times on National Fox Weather. So what's everybody saying about you?
Yeah, it's definitely been an eventful last couple weeks. Everybody thinks it's really cool. And, my friends are always asking me about the weather and how it's going to be like when things are happening. So everybody definitely knows what I do now.
And I told Beckett to get used to that because when you get into the field, you will get text messages or who knows what it'll be by then, where technology will go. But text messages and phone calls of people asking, and your response back is going to be, I'm not working right now.
Yeah.
Come on, not always on. Well, Beckett, thank you so much. Again, it's aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. And again, enjoy today. Get out. It's going to be gorgeous in the 70s. He's calling
Yes.
for 71. And then we will check back in with you. You want to come back on Monday? We'll see. Depending on the weather system, I might be at home, depending if it's going to fall early, just to keep everybody safe. But you want to come back on Monday?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Have a fantastic day at school, Beckett.
You too. Goodbye, Monica.
Thank you. That's Beckett Moore. Isn't he amazing? I just love the fact that we have had him as part of our team. All right, let me tell you about this Cultivating a Vision for 2024. This is part 3, folks. It's gone so well that everybody's been asking, can you do another one? Can you do another one? And the answer is yes. Kasia Satars and myself, we hold this for you via Zoom. That means everyone all across the world can join in, and they have. So we've had some of our friends in Canada, and then, of course, we've had people throughout the United States. It's been really fulfilling, and we are carving out what your life should look like. And if anything's been holding you back, what are those mental blocks? What are those physical blocks? What are those spiritual blocks? Kasia does a lot of heart coherence work. We do a lot of meditation work together, a lot of breath work. Of course, I always talk about the triangle of life, which I will be doing coming up at the 37th annual St. Louis Working Women Show. And I'm going to give away another pair of tickets today. So be listening closely to my guest because I'm going to pull something from today's interview. We will be also giving away VIP tickets. How about for Galentine's Day? For those of you that are not with a significant other, we're going to do it like a Galentine's giveaway. VIP tickets. What does that call for? That is an opportunity for you to go to the Friday evening meet and greet with Allison Arngrim, who we had on earlier last week with Little House on the Prairie. Also, a ticket to the show, 2 tickets, I'm sorry, to the show. And then you get a chance to sit at the chef's table. Who's doing the cooking? And the answer is Allison. So it's VIP tickets to join in all of that. We're going to be there for you on Friday and Saturday. We've got a booth set up. We will have the merchandise, not only the journals, which just debuted, by the way, yesterday, the gorgeous journals, so many different colors that we have. They are going to be in person with us, and they are already online, TheRealMonicaAdams.com. So depending on where you're watching from, you can purchase those. We have jackets and t-shirts that will be out at the Working Women Show as well. So again, for our booth, we'll be there Friday and Saturday, and then I will be speaking on the main stage right before Allison at 1:30 on Saturday afternoon. So please come on out, buy your tickets, www.therealmonicaadams.com. www.swsonline.com. So some people are saying, how cool, the chef's table. I know, there's the opportunity for you to win. We'll give that away next week. I booked mine already. Good. Everybody's saying outstanding to Beckett. Yay, Monica to be asked for footage. Great 2024 year. Great things are happening. I know, right? I think someone should hire him now. I agree with that. I do want him to continue to go to school. You've heard him say that he wants to go into college and be able to get his meteorology degree. Congrats, Beckett. Keep following your dream. And somebody said, I was looking at, there it is. Chiefs by 3, Linda says. So if you're just tuning in, I'd like to know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl and by what spread. Okay. I'm taking the Chiefs by 10. So what do you think about that? It is 7:10 and time to kick off our show for today. You know, we've been talking about all these different segments that we want to have. And my dear friend, Fleshman, who was on with me a few weeks back, we talked about Friendship Friday. I love that idea. You know, we have Medical Monday and Ask the Doctor. We've got Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. We've got Positive Talk Time on Thursdays that we mix in, not every Thursday, but we mix those in every other. And Friendship Friday sounds good to me. And so maybe I'll bring on a bunch of different friends. And then I've been wanting for probably 6 months now to do Getting Real with real estate execs. That's a segment that I said I wanted to start. And so we're going to kind of blend those today. We're going to talk about some really fierce conversations and think about the conversations with family and friends that you avoid. But that's not good because all it does is push it down and it festers. And then all of a sudden somebody erupts like a volcano and you think, where in the world did that come from? Well, they didn't want to get into the conversation, which is not a good thing. That can be a really dangerous thing. So we're going to talk about aspects of conversations, social, like how you are socially, if that plays a part in it. And then we're going to give you tips on real estate. So for all of you that are right now thinking of buying, selling a home, maybe renting, or do you have family and friends that are in that boat? If they are, do me a favor. I'm going to take a quick break. You're going to text them or call them and say, hey, Monica's got Fleshman on, and we're going to talk about a little real estate and some tips and things that you need to know. Is this a buyer's market? Is this a seller's market? What in the world's happening with the interest rates, mortgage, etc.? She's got the answers for us. And then deep into fierce conversations. That's all coming up for you on The Real Monica Adams Show. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. We need women to lift women up. Let's do that.
Let's go. Being on Monica's show, it was like one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Monica's very real, and she really cares about people.
She's changing lives.
Changing lives.
I think this is just really what people want to see.
Giving back so much to the community, and I really appreciate it.
Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with her viewers and her listeners.
Made the interview process like talking to a friend.
How are you doing? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Hey. You're close.
Monica. Whoa.
So go out in this world and be anything you want to be. But before you do that, first, be kind. All right, let's go. Isn't that amazing? And so I can't wait for the next promo that we have. And Zach Kimball, thank you so much for putting that together for us. He did a really amazing job. And to all of you that have been in the blue chair and have said these really beautiful things about our team, because again, it's a team effort. Can't do it without all those that we surround ourselves around, right? Great family, great friends, great coworkers. And I know my guest today knows all about that. My dear friend, Fleshman. Hello, beautiful.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. I'm drenched in sweat. I was like, why did I take a shower and get ready? Because I just trained my clients and we were just soaked. You understand that. Dot's been trained by me many times. So Dot and I have been dear, dear friends for a long, long time. We're going to talk about Friendship Friday, but I also want to start on the real estate aspect. So Dot is a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. And you, again, it's kind of like we were talking with Jules and Tracy yesterday. You've had different passions that have taken you on different paths. Amazing how you follow that message inside from God of, I'm going to go do this. So I remember, Dot long worked in the spa industry, many different things that she did. You can see she's just absolutely beautiful. But you said that you had this desire to go into real estate. Start with that. Why is that? What was it that was calling on your soul?
Right. Actually, I got into real estate about 3 years ago, but it was really 5 years prior that I was really interested in getting in. And my girlfriend wanted me to, we chatted and she says, hey, you'd be great in real estate. We chatted about it, but something about that time just wasn't right. And we all have interests, we all have things we want to do, but the timing has to be right. I've spent 29 years in the hospitality industry, and it has taken me this far, and I've loved it. And everything I love about hospitality is the people. It's always the people, and giving and loving and just making people happy. And so when COVID happened, I decided I'm going to take this leap of faith, and yes, trust in the fact that God had it in my heart and that I should follow that. And decided to do it. And I thought, I'm going to give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I'm going to get back into hospitality. But I love this industry, and it's such a great marriage, Monica, between hospitality and helping people buy a house, because it's a huge journey to get clients. It's a big investment to get a house, but the hospitality part of it, the customer service part of it, is really about being there for your clients. Meaning, so in the spa industry, I share like servant leadership. Mm-hmm. Servant leadership is about serving others. And that's what I did. It was my job to serve them, not my title. It didn't matter what my title was. It was about the team. Same thing here. It's about serving my clients and what can I do for them? What are their goals? And how do I help them achieve that?
Well, and there's a big trust factor. You just mentioned one of the greatest, fulfilling, and scariest moments of somebody's life, especially when it's first time. I will never forget, Dot. My family was in another country when I bought my house. And here I am making the biggest purchase in my 20s, and I had horrible buyer's remorse. My real estate agent was like, it's going to be okay. And I'm like, I don't know. This is scary. My brother's gone. My mom's gone. They're in Germany. This is nuts. But it was exciting at the same time. And so it's your job to talk somebody off the ledge, to calm them down and say, look, we're going to get this sold. We're going to sell your house, or we're going to get an opportunity to buy a new house. And it's exciting. So you understand all that. I'm sure you've been through that in the last few years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Got about 28 houses sold, and clients are thrilled to either be in a new home and or to get a home that they have sold. If you've got rental property and you want to get it sold, or, you want to downsize, you want to upsize, you want to right size. Sometimes it's just about right sizing. You want to go from a 2-story, 2,400 square feet home to maybe a ranch, 2,400 square foot home. So it's just right sizing. But, everyone asks, when is the best time to buy a house? And the answer is always like right now. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what interest rates are going to look like, et cetera. Although, good news, interest rates are coming down.
Okay, well, that was my next question, because that is all we hear. I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's not get into the politics side about the administration and where we were 4 years ago. I'm not going to get into all of that, whatever the beliefs are. But yes, it's been frustrating to see where they were and then how high they got. And then people were like, but it was a little crazy. I mean, getting, 3-4 years ago when we're talking about the housing market, and how crazy high they were, and all the things that real estate agents would say, no, you don't want to wipe this away. You don't want to wipe that away. People weren't, we don't need inspections. I just want a house. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was interesting. It was actually fascinating. And the biggest thing is this, the whole premise of buying a house is the value of what, if you feel that's the value of what the house is worth, and that's what it's worth. And so what was happening is, because of the lack of inventory, people were saying, hey, I don't know when the next time I'm going to buy a house, and I really got to buy one. I got to get my kids into school. So guess what? I mean, yeah, I'll pay $30,000 over. because they know they're going to stay there for 10 years. They know they're going to stay there forever. They know that's going to be their forever home. A lot of people made really smart decisions. Now, did everyone? Probably not. Probably some people just got a little hasty and just want to get on the bandwagon with everyone else. But, I personally don't know anyone yet who has faltered and said, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. It's an amazing thing to buy a home.
It is. It was just scary. But I mean, that's a good point. If you know that they're going to be in it for 10,
Right.
15, 20 years, but as you know, some people jump around. And I know somebody the other day that said that they move every 4 years. And I was like, well, then that wouldn't have been a very smart decision. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Dot Fleshman, real estate agent extraordinaire, Coldwell Banker, Gundaker, and dotfleshman.com. You can go to. Michelle just put her email address up on the screen as well. So you can reach out to her and say, hey, you know what? I need to find a real estate agent. Monica trusts you, so I'm going to trust you. Let me give you a little background also. Her awards: Rookie of the Year 2022, Rising Star in 2022, 5-star professional also in that year. And then in 2023, top 150 agent in the company and International Sterling Society that came in 2023 as well. And as we were showing these pictures, Dot, you've got to be proud. They make you smile. And there it is. All these awards. What does that mean to you?
I mean, that's just those things pop up and I get like, what? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Everyone who gets awards doesn't do it for the awards. Everyone does it for the people, for their clients. And when it pops up, you're kind of like, oh my gosh. But at the same time, it's your clients. And my clients become my friends.
Yes.
As it's like, oh, I need this person to help me be a personal trainer, but then they become your friend. I have so many friends from just helping them because, you're together sometimes 3-4 months, and it's the best thing. It's helping people to achieve their goal and their dreams. Again, part of the day maker and part of the spa industry is being a day maker, and you get to be a day maker helping someone to buy their house. And like I said, it's a big investment. So there's a trust factor that goes along with it, but you've got to work with someone who's I do it full time, and this is what I want to do full time. And so 24/7, I'm wherever, whatever they need.
Let me ask this, because for me, I've heard so many things, and I think a lot of it was put, and I would imagine that you'll hear this a lot, that we listen to the people closest to us, right? It could be family. It could be somebody chirping in your ear from a brother or a sister or a spouse or a mom, dad, best friend, whoever it may be, coworkers, and they are going to tell you their viewpoint. They're going to sometimes push their viewpoints on you. I was always told, if you can afford to buy, why would you want to rent? Because all you're going to do is give all that money away to somebody else. So let's get into that. Renting or buying, Dot?
100%. Both. So here's the thing. Yes, in the end, home ownership is about giving money to yourself, paying yourself. So that's equity that goes into your pocket. So you're going to pay that mortgage. That money goes in your pocket. At the end of it, you're going to have this equity in your home that you can turn around and buy another home. Renting, when you're paying that out, it just goes away and you get nothing back. Mm-hmm. However, renting is important if and when you are in the process of wanting to be a homeowner. So if you want to be a homeowner, but you've got to work on your credit score, you have to work on a down payment, you have to work on saving money for closing costs, and all of those things matter. But what's really important is to have that conversation and start the dialogue saying, hey, I would like to buy a house in a year. What does that look like? So we connect you with a lender that basically looks at your everything that you have and says, okay, the best thing to do is let's get this paid off. Let's get this much money saved up. This is how much you'll need for a down payment. And there's so many options out there, Monica, that even I've started finding out things about this, like MHDC loan, which is like a grant from the government. So if you fall, not everyone falls in this category, but if you do, it's amazing. You can get in as low as 3.5% or even zero down if you're a VA, or maybe do a USDA loan, further out, outlining areas. There's so many just different things that you can do, but starting the conversation, it's a start, because you need time to build up that credit score. You need time to put money aside, et cetera. And, it makes you think, because, if you're not, so going back to, you were saying, going to the parties this weekend and going out drinking, and, you're going to be spending a lot of money. But if you're going to be buying a house, you're going to say, well, I could spend $50, but I can't just put 200 on my credit card,
Right.
So it really is cognizant of your timeline,
Mhm.
and getting the ball rolling kind of gets that started.
Absolutely. Again, if you're just tuning in, it is 7:25. It's our Friday edition, Friendship Friday, with one of my dearest friends, Dot Fleshman, who we introduced you to a few weeks back. And we mentioned at the very end of the show that she was a real estate agent and she followed her passion. And again, I think the exciting thing to stress is that she made that shift in life, not when she was in her 20s, not when she was in her 30s, even though she's still 29.
Right. Right.
Okay, but later in life, and I know it's scary to do at any point,
Right.
but it's got to be even scarier later in life, isn't it, Dot?
It's not, because
Wasn't?
you know what it is? It's a leap of faith, but it's also that journey. It's like, what has gotten me here, I have loved. And, when you have a belief in yourself and you're saying, this is what I believe in myself, and this is what I'm going to try. I mean, a whole new industry. It just goes from being, I was like the smartest person in the room to like the newest person in the room. So you had a lot to learn, but at the same time, I've learned quickly. I've learned a lot. I've taken a lot of classes. And part of it is it's just an innate passion. It's dealing with people. It's still it's a different industry, but hospitality in general.
Well, customer service and trust. We can't say it enough. The trust factor. I mean, think of it. As we said, one of the most important purchases, biggest purchases you will ever make in your life. And you've got to find the right person who will fight for you, who will be there for you. Negotiate. Yeah. And then all the language that Dot was just saying, the things that we don't know, it's having someone that's so hyper focused on that and passionate about that. Julie said, I rent. I didn't have to worry about fixing anything. I just call Dave.
You know what? That is a good point. So that was another good point. A lot of people say things like, I just helped a dear, dear, dear sweet friend go from renting, but she's now in a condo. So maybe take a little bit of a step into condos home ownership, where someone else is still, busy working on all those types of repairs, especially exterior repairs. But that's always a good step.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Again, we are talking about real estate, but we're going to shift a little bit. I do want to come back and focus one more time on when do you apply, all the levels of things, so that we're not behind the 8 ball. And then we're going to flip into the friendship side and conversations. I love what Dot wanted to talk about today. Fierce conversations and why people hold back. I know there's conversations that you feel a little uncomfortable, but I always say you got to speak your truth. You don't want to sit there and not have a voice in life. So think about that. More with Dot Fleshman when we return. Think about this. When's the last time you called your doctor at 2 o'clock in the morning and he actually answered? Well, at Innovair Health Advocates, their patients are special. Their doctors, nurse practitioners, their care team care deeply about your health, your family, your work, and even your pet. Their clinicians are accessible and they lead your care in and out of the hospital. In fact, Dr. Charles Willie offers his cell phone number to his patients to ensure they can intervene early in your illness. They can provide care above and beyond, offering lab, x-ray, echocardiogram, and other treatments in their office. Innovair Health Advocates, with 5 locations on both sides of the river. Check them out, innovairhealth.com. Welcome back. Friday, February 9th. And once again, weather-wise, we're talking 70s for today. Get outside and enjoy the day. It's going to be gorgeous. Are you going to have an opportunity to be outside today, Dot?
I am. I absolutely am.
Good. Dot Fleshman, once again, is my guest and very dear friend of mine. So we're talking a little bit about Friendship Friday. But before we get into these conversations, talking about real estate, once again, Dot went into real estate and has done amazing with all the awards we just told you that she's had. But that's not why she's doing it. She's doing it for you, the customer service, the trust aspect. Real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Again, it's Fleshman.com, and her email is dot.fleshman@cbrealty.com. So from the mortgage standpoint and from the interest rates, you say that they're going down, but it's really, it's constantly this pattern. And you said people will always try to figure out when's the best time to sell, when's the best time to buy. And it's just to make the decision. Just it's like Nike, just do it.
Or just do it. Everything is timing. A lot of times, especially if you have children and you're looking for homes, you have to be in a home by a certain period of time before you can get into the school district. So my suggestion is, if you have to be in a specific school district, that you contact them and just find out what that period of time is. But we're getting ready to get into the spring season. So this is our big season where people are starting to get out. The weather is a little bit nicer. We were stuck inside for about 3 months. So the market is starting to boom, and you still see, if you have a home to sell, this is the time to sell it. There are buyers. We have buyers, and we have lack of inventory. Therefore, pricing is premium with your homes. Mm-hmm. And if you are one of those people who say, gosh, I've got so much work to do in this house, and I got to paint, and I got, let's chat. We could sell your property as is. You could still get a really good rate for your property. There's so many options.
I think I did an interview about this probably 10, 15 years ago, about if you are going to do some upgrades, the most important upgrades. It used to be bathrooms. It used to be kitchens, and even the front door. Do you still agree? And landscaping. You still agree with all those?
Yes, all three of those. What the front of your house looks like will be the first impression, of course, as they get into your home.
Okay, but again, don't spend an exorbitant amount of money, because are you going to be able to recoup that? Things like that. So timing, before we get into the Friendship Friday aspect, timing of the when we're supposed to be putting money down, the mortgage, everything's like that. Give us the timing aspect.
So be a little bit clear about what you mean on that timing.
Well, because I think some people feel that they are behind. What should we be doing? What should we be putting down? How much money should we be saving? There's so many levels of things that when someone all of a sudden comes up to buying a home, they're like, oh, I didn't do any of that. How much? I didn't know I had to put that much money down.
Right. So I make it really simple. I connect you with a lender, and I work with amazing lenders, but you connect with a lender, and what the first thing they do is they will discuss what your credit score is, what everything looks like, how much home you can afford, and then how much down payment you can do, as low as 3.5%, but then you'll pay some PMI, or you can put 20% down and have a conventional loan. There's so many options there, but they will let you know how much money do you have. That's what they take care of. I make sure that the professionals handle that aspect of it, and then they connect with me and say, okay, the clients can afford $350,000, and that's great. That's what they can afford. But then you speak with the client. The client says, I'm a little bit more comfortable in the 300,000 range. I'm going to go all out. I think, we still want to, be able to go out to eat and whatever. So I want to be at 300,000. So then we start looking there. Now there's another option that's been happening here lately. I had a couple of homes where they couldn't find a house in the 500 range. We just looked everywhere. They're not, lack of inventory. We found a home in the $350,000 range. They were able to get I lost my train of thought, on a loan to be able to repair their home. So they were able to get a contractor come in and put in about $120,000 into the home. So the lender then comes in and they value the home at what the end result will be. And so they were able to walk in with a new kitchen and their new bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. So
again, these are all the levels of things that we don't know, which is why you need to find the right person. And you obviously are working with the best of the best, whether it's in the mortgage side, the lending. I did see a comment earlier from Marilyn, and she is with Kathy Kilo Peterson. Here, let's go ahead and do it. It's important from the insurance side and everything to build trust in those that you work with as well, right, Dot?
Say that again.
It's important to build trust in the people that you are sending them off to, the lending aspect, the titling aspect. Yes,
absolutely. We contact them. We tell them they've got to get their homeowners insurance. They've got to get their lending. They've got we've got closing costs with U.S. Title. There's so many aspects of that. And I walk them through everything from when to switch over your utilities and when to start your utilities in your new home. You need a moving truck. There's so many aspects to moving, and boxes. I'll drop off boxes if you need boxes so that you can start packing. And I always say, let's start packing. Sometimes you might have to get a storage unit and pack up stuff and just get everything into your storage unit so you can kind of clear out your home. There's so much to do, but it sounds overwhelming. But you know what? It's like you need someone to just kind of hold your hand and be there every step of the way. And I think for me, if I had to sell a house by myself, I would want that person to be there saying, how are you doing on this? How are you doing on that? And what can I do to help you here and connect you to who you may need?
Well, you need those steps. That's not something that we should be worrying about. That's exactly why you turn that over to someone like Dot to take care of you on all those levels. Yeah, Marilyn said, hey, Dot, Team KKP, love, love, love realtors, love Friendship Friday idea. I am blessed with an incredible amount of amazing friends. We have a ton of fun together. It's experiencing a lot of new adventures together. They're incredible. And I've been saying that I want to make sure that I hook up you and others that are in that industry, because it really is all about lifting each other up. I told you that before, right? It's surrounding yourself. So here you go. Kathy Kilo Peterson. I'm going to make sure Dot and Kathy get connected if they haven't already. And so I want you to trust Dot when it's time for you to buy, sell, rent. And then I want you to trust Kathy when it comes to the insurance side. kkilo.com, 636-561-6460. Kathy, thank you for everything that you do. Okay. So Dot, again, we wanted to talk about conversations, and it can be in the workplace. It can be with dear friends. It can be with family. Fierce conversations. That is how Dot wanted to say it. And you have a book in front of you wanted to show. Fierce Conversations. Who's that by?
Susan Scott. It's an amazing book. I got this years ago. I'm not even sure. I don't even want to open it and see what year it was, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, okay, off topic, but like the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I promise everyone read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That book is life-changing. Why? It's your life in general. You take that aspect of that information. We talk about win-win. We talk about seeking first to understand, then be understood. All these things, begin with the end in mind. There's so many things of the 7 habits that are important. So that's your base foundation. But then this whole thing with fierce conversations, because a portion of the 7 habits talks about conversations. And, I've been around predominantly women, men, but, I worked with 90 women in the hospitality industry. I'm part of the junior league. I work with so many agents, and, conversations, sometimes people will say, and I've heard it plenty of times, ooh, I don't like confrontation. And I always say, well, it's the C word, but it's not confrontation, it's communication. And communication is something that we do every day. We all go to work, we all talk, we all do our thing. Mm-hmm. But something holds us back. It's always a conversation that is a little bit uncomfortable. And so what we do is we just acquiesce and we're done. We don't have it. And so, I think it's important that we have those, what they call fierce conversations, and kind of getting in front of yourself and not hiding behind yourself and being okay to have that. It's not confrontational. It's not about, going, hey, this happened, or
it's not attacking.
It's not. It's fierce conversations is really about being okay. And I always tell people, speak in the mirror. And if you're going to have a conversation with someone and you feel like it's getting like this, get your hand and kind of get it back down here and get your tone right back down here. We don't need to be there. We just need to be here. And being here is okay. It's just conversing and having that conversation. And part of it is we've heard this so many times. Gosh, Monica, I didn't tell you because I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yep.
Okay, so you let me walk around with a booger on my cheek like half the day, but you didn't want to hurt my feelings.
You got spinach in your teeth.
Yeah, you got lipstick on your teeth. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me. You can get
and why, by the way, I love, Dot actually did that to me before. I was like, okay, thanks. Do not get offended by that. Don't think, oh my gosh, why would they tell? Because they care about you. That's why they're telling you.
Right.
You don't want to look like a fool.
Right. And, there's definitely a strong feeling about it, but, there's a connection with a lot of things. And I know I'm throwing lots of stuff out there, but part of, you just got to be comfortable having a conversation. And I will tell you, lots of styles have comfortability having conversations. Sometimes your analyticals, over process things and overthink things. And so they don't want to have those conversations. And of course, amiables are the sweetest people in the world. So they don't want to rock the boat and they don't want to have those conversations. I'm here to say specifically to analyticals and to amiables, have that conversation. You become taller, you become stronger, and no one has ever like beat someone up over a conversation. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm sure they have
We
somewhere.
don't know everything.
But I'm not talking about us. I'm normal folks. We're just having conversations, and sometimes it's just, and what we have to do is stop saying things like, "She hurt my feelings."
And let's address that, by the way, as we go deep into this. If you are just tuning in, and thank you, by the way, for those that are watching on Facebook and on YouTube. But we also have an entirely new group of people that are now finding us on Instagram and on X. And then, of course, we have our audio podcast platforms that drop every Thursday. Destiny Klimaszewski was yesterday. That's a really powerful interview. She lost her child and her husband to a drunk driver. If you have not heard that. But here's the thing that she did. She was so frustrated, Dot, and here's a conversation to have. She was so frustrated that in the time frame that she lost both of them, that she has seen nothing in 10 years with regards to any change in drunk driving laws. So she decided to go to school and become a lawyer. She's like, I know I'm taking on something big here, but I believe that I can make a difference. So
Right.
that interview, by the way, I just got chills. That interview, I want you to find on all the audio podcast platforms from yesterday, if you've never heard that. But I think the biggest problem, Dot, is people say exactly what you just said. They hurt my feelings. Can we just answer that for a second? No, they didn't. They don't have that power. You allow them to. They can't do that unless you allow them. So yes, they might say something that stings, but you know what? Process it for a second. I love the fact that Dot said if you're up here in the mirror and you're hearing yourself, you're seeing yourself, you can see the anger in your face. How do you think the other person's going to receive that? So that's the whole aspect of changing logistically where you are, separating, move yourself away from that for a second. Tell them, because I know I'm just going to escalate this, I am not being rude here and I'm not walking away from this. I just need to pause for a second. I will be back in about 5 minutes. Take some breath and then come back focused on, I want to find a way to be okay with this instead of shouting and nobody's hearing each other.
Right. Exactly. And do you know why, Monica? Because I have a point to get across and you have a point to get across. And now we're both having this conversation. Yeah, but, and you're saying, and I'm talking. No one's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Seek first to understand, then be understood means stop, listen. You have to understand the other person's perspective. Then you slowly say, so what I'm hearing is your frustration with me is because I can't get my keys out of my purse quick enough to get the door unlocked. I don't know what we're arguing over, but whatever, there's something, but we have to clarify what that is. And then you pause and you give yourself a chance to think about that and say, okay, gosh, okay, and this all sounds so easy. It's not. It's something that we have to work on regularly, which is why I say if you have to have a very uncomfortable conversation and you almost know what maybe the other person's going to be saying, but we all, you want to practice that in the mirror and kind of get yourself to where you're constantly staying right here. Because once you step out of that and you're up here, you're in that like fight or flight positioning, and now you're upset, and part of that is just being okay to just be down here and have that conversation and communicate, have those fierce conversations by saying things like, I'm frustrated. I need to take a pause about right now. I need a 5-minute pause. I need to just take a step back here and just contemplate my thoughts here. And you know what else is uncomfortable is downtime, quiet time. Right?
There are a lot of people, Dot, that are not okay with just themselves. And that is a dangerous thing because then they're so dependent upon other people. You have to find a way to spend time with yourself and fall in love with yourself all over again.
Well, yes. And the quiet time is in between the conversation. So you're saying something, I'm saying something, and now you're not speaking. So there's that need to feel like I'm going to fill that void. So I will go, well, and we don't need to fill that void with words. We just need to let that void be there and just be that quiet time and just let it be there while you're thinking, I'm thinking. And then you say, okay, all right, I see where you're coming from. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. But I mean, there's some of that. But I think most importantly is not about how to converse. It's about conversing and having uncomfortable. Everyone can have a conversation when it's like when life is good, everyone's happy. Yep. It's when things kind of stink and there's something that's going on. Maybe the timing is not right now to have that conversation. But I always tell people, man, if you ever have a difficult moment that you're going to have with someone, call me. Just call me. walk it through with me. Give someone a second perspective of what you're about ready to say so that you can say it and feel comfortable with saying it. Because we don't want to have regrets over screaming matches and yelling, because we can't take that back. It's like slashes. You see the scars later, but it's we want to be careful. But most importantly about this whole thing is that conversations are not being had, and people just go on, and then you're out with girls and you hear things, and you're talking with your friends or family, and you think, well, why did you not ever say anything about that? And it's like this big pink elephant in the room, and it's a constant, Monica. Like I said, 30, 40, not 40, probably, I'm not even that old. How many years I've been in like, the professional working environment.
She's only 29, folks. She's only 29.
Right? So, you see these things and you're around there, and, it's a comfort to know that there is always someone out there. Call a friend, pick up a friend and say, hey, you don't need to know who, but I'm getting ready to have an uncomfortable conversation. And here's about what I'm ready to say. What does that sound like on that other end? Get a perspective, but have the conversation. And it's okay to be your authentic self, and you have to look at a couple of things we talked about is PPP, purpose, process, payoff. So the purpose of why I'm going to have this meeting, the process I'm going to take in this meeting, and what the payoff is. So I could say the purpose of this is to, meet with Monica and, get to see, whatever. And then, what is my payoff? And payoff is, well, I get to meet some new friends. What is the process? The process is going to be, we're going to take some time off. We'll take some commercials. There's all that stuff involved. It's the same thing in a conversation. You've got your opening, you've got your dialogue, and you've got your closure. So in a conversation, you know what happens? We have opening and we have dialogue. Then it's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Well, there's no closure.
Right.
And so part of that is you got to have all three. And I always say, pick up the phone and call a friend. Call me.
Call.
It's probably on there. And you can call and say, hey, you don't know me, I'm Monica's friend, but here's the deal. I'm about ready to have an uncomfortable conversation. Here's the scenario. Here's what I'm ready to say. Walk it through with someone. Sometimes there's a different perspective. And Monica, I just want to share, a lot of times we think that others think something. Okay. And no one took the Dionne Warwick psychic reading class, where it's like, we know what someone's thinking. We don't. It's an assumption. And we have to be very, very, very careful with that, because now we can get ourselves so, just whatever that word is called, where you get so bent out of shape over something, over our own thoughts versus reality. So.
Well, I love the fact that you are saying many things that I have been preaching to my clients for so many years, and that is to speak, to understand that you all should have a voice, and I hope that's what you're hearing here today, but it's also to stop playing the blame game. This person did this to me. This person did that to me. You got to come back to yourself. And why do you think I love journaling so much? Because you take those thoughts and you write down and think, well, wow, no, Dot didn't really do this to me. I did it to myself. I'm sitting there saying that what she's saying is completely different than me. That's fine. If we all walked around the same way and had the same thoughts, it'd be a very boring world. You should have people that take you out of your comfort zone. Listen to them. Listen to another viewpoint. But this is a big part. Listen. Right? Having the patience to listen and not be ready to say what you want to say as soon as Dot's done talking, that I'm not even listening to her, but I can't wait till I speak. That's more of a narcissistic mentality of, I want to be heard. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. No, I want to hear what she has to say, and I'll sit there and listen, and I learn from that. But you mentioned two really important things, and they are in my favorite book, which is The Four Agreements. To be impeccable with your word means that when you're out with friends, and if Dot wasn't around, would I be talking about Dot? Would I be bashing Dot? Would that get back to Dot? You always have to wonder what's coming out of your mouth, and will it get back to the person that you're talking about? If you have a problem with it getting back to that person, then you probably shouldn't be speaking it. And the other part of the agreements is to stop assuming, right? Sitting there thinking, I think Dot thinks this about me. Well, why don't we ask her? Why don't we actually face-to-face talk with her? Why don't we actually pick up the phone and oh, hi, Dot, and actually communicate instead of this, right? Texting has become so easy. And I think there's a lot of people that fear, where are we going with technology? Where will it be? Because you mentioned social styles and how different they are. Socialization has been robbed for our children when they had to go home and learn virtually. And then the social aspect was missing for so long during the pandemic. And now we're trying to come back from that. And here we are in 2024, and they're still trying to fight of, hey, I lost a couple years of my life, and parents are finding that with their own kids. So there's so many levels of whether it's a child or a senior that you are looking at. Are they talking?
Right.
I don't know about you, but did you regularly have family dinners with your kids?
Yes, yes. Before I answer that, I want to share something, and I do think that's important. I want to confirm on something that texting is wonderful to get a brief something. When you're angry, it's not texting, it's the phone. So thank you for clarifying that. And the other thing is that Monica brought up is about honoring the absent. So honoring the absent means I'm going to say something about Monica to my friends when I'm out there, but it's going to be something on the positive side. But the minute it's something negative, and here's what I share with you and all the viewers, everyone listening here, try this, okay? So the next time you're out and someone, family member, friend, or coworker, starts to talk about someone that's not in the room, put your hand up like the stop sign, put your hand up and say, I would like to honor the absent. She's not here, he's not here. They can't defend on themselves. Let's not have this conversation. And it's so powerful to do that. And I promise you, if you try it, you will remember me. It is a powerful thing to be strong enough to say, not okay. And, this started years ago in the hospitality industry when I was with 90 women. And there's, what happens in the back room, there's gossip. You walk back there, all you're trying to do is make your lunch, and you got to hear a story that's probably not even true. So again, it started back then and it continues to this day. I share that with anyone I'm with when I'm speaking, at Webster University, or like at the end of this month, I'm going to do a roundtable talk for women in leadership at the end of this month at the Junior League. Part of that is constantly bringing up honoring the absent. It makes you so strong. Monica, so dinners. I grew up as a family. We always had family dinner growing up myself. And so, of course, when I had children, we had family dinner. Now, was it every single night? Hockey, you got dance, you got something. So sometimes we couldn't. Sometimes that family dinner was like in the car, here's your chicken nuggets and let's chat. And what I missed? When my children started driving. I missed those conversations because you learned so much from just dinner time, just conversations. How was your work? We used to do something. Gosh, let me think about what it was called. It was something like, was it good news, bad news? Give me something good today. Give me something bad today. Or high, low. High, low. It was called high, low. If Athena's watching, she'll know. It's called high, low. Give me something high that happened today. Give me something low that happened today. And when it was that low thing, it wasn't like we were trying to be Miss Fix-It. We were just kind of like, that's a bummer. But then later on, we were kind of like, hey, so how are you going to?
Well, that's because you don't want to sit there and go, okay, whatever. So you've got nothing going wrong in your life. Okay, everything's always good. That's not true. There are highs and lows. And maybe the person for a while is on a really big high. Fantastic. But something is going to plummet and you got to be there for them. But I have been a big advocate and proponent of family dinners and asking every one of you that are blessed, and I'm going to say it again, that you are blessed to have children. I'm asking you to go back to the dinner table. I don't care if it's just once a week. If you can't do it regularly, like Dot said, and I know you're rushing off to games and dance and gymnastics and whatever, but how about on a Saturday or Sunday, you make it happen. I mean, you're the parent. You're not the friend. You're the parent. And you say, kids, we're going to have dinner. And at that dinner, make sure that this doesn't exist and that they are sitting there and you're having a conversation. And you ask each one of them to get them to speak, because I'm going to tell you, there's some really serious things that are discussed. And there's aha moments that happen, Dot, when everybody else knows that your child's being bullied, or that your child's the bully, or they're being abused, or something has happened to them. Some really dark, horrible things that you don't know about because you've never taken the time to ask them to say, I need your voice to be spoken, instead of waiting. And then 5, 10, 15 years later, you're crying and upset. Why didn't I know? Well, because you allowed this to be their parent.
Yes. And, dinner time with family, take that one step further, is important to have dinner with friends, getting out and have dinner with friends. I mean, I cherish those moments that I get to get out and be me and, hang out, have some laughs. And I mean, that's what life's about. It really is.
And it's interesting to pass this along to Dot. So we went, thank you, by the way, Dot and her sister-in-law, Sarah, and her husband, Ronnie, Dot's husband, Ronnie, they all came to our broadcast yesterday at Espresso Yourself. We had a fantastic time with Jules and Tracy. And it was funny because we left and I told Jim, I said, we're all going to dinner. And he's like, oh, great. And he thought he meant that, just the 4 of us. And I said, no, the 6 of us are going to dinner. And I said, April something. And he goes, did you say April? And I said, yeah. And he goes, why so long? And I said, because this is what happens. Life gets busy. And unless you do what the three of us did yesterday and actually put it in your calendar, it doesn't happen. And someone says, we're going to get together. I can't tell you the last time I went to dinner with Jules. So I'm so happy that we did that. But yes, you got to make those things happen. Otherwise you just get so busy and you lose yourself and you lose, you lose the connection to your friends.
That's right. That's right.
I'm so excited for that. Okay, let's look at some comments real quick before we have to wrap up. So we're going to go back to the real estate talk for a second. Marilyn had a question for you. Marilyn said, Dot, I have a huge wish. My parents' generation still stay in their homes way too long. It's a huge burden on their children. I do not want that to be me. So in the next 10 to 15 years, I want to be out of my house, but I don't want to go to an apartment. My best friend lives in the Villages in Florida with the perfect house. Well, hey, perfect. There's no perfection in life. 900 square foot and only 4 windows to clean. LOL. I know these home builders want huge and pricey homes on land in St. Charles County. Will we ever see a village where seniors could live in their own places?
Well, that's not up my alley, but
come on, Dot, you can move the world.
They're building them everywhere. They're expensive. And if that's something that you can afford, I think that's fantastic. I think the reason that people stay in their homes too long, and too long to who? I mean, I want to just put that in perspective. When you get to a certain point, you don't care about. So this is the challenge with our next generation, my parents' generation. She doesn't want to she doesn't want to move out of her house. She wants to die in her house, and a lot of times that's their comfortability. And remember, that generation is not good with change. And I'm talking about the generation of, like my mother, who's 86 years old. So they, are getting ready to turn 86. Well, she's 39, really.
I was just going to say,
sorry, I said that out loud.
But, mom had you when she was 10.
They're not good with change, and they don't want to change. They love their surrounding. They love their stuff. They've worked hard for their stuff, and that's what they want. And that's okay. I think that is okay. I think as long as there is a plan, and the plan is, is your parents' house in a trust so that at the end you can take, and again, I'm not, you need to call Kathy Peterson about this, but, or someone who does trust work, but we've done it, and we've done it our own trust ourselves. But part of that is making sure that your parents' wishes are what happens to the house afterwards. Do you want to keep it in the family? Do you want to sell it? Et cetera. Same thing with, our trust for our children. Who do you want in charge of that? Make some plans for it, and it's like, our parents are not a burden. We've been a burden and up their butt our whole lives, and then it's our time to make sure that they, get in return, that we're there, taking care of them, helping them, with the end of their lives. And that's their comfortability. There are some sassy older folks who are kind of like selling it, going to Florida, living my life there. And I think that's amazing. And if you know anyone who wants to do it, I've got the best agents in Florida who can help you with that. I kid you not, the best.
Really?
And I've already got one client who's going to be meeting with her actually this Saturday because she wants to move to Florida. And she's like my age. She says, I just want to move. I want to retire and I want to live in the sun with my feet in the sand. Man, so do I. But
I love that idea. Yeah, I want you to work on this. So Jim's retiring. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth. Jim is retiring in 1 year. Let's see. And 3 months and just a few days. And at that point, this I can do from anywhere. I would love, he's never been, but I want to introduce him to Naples, Florida. By then, who knows what the greatest communities are, but it's just so stunning there. And I know it's crazy expensive, but yes, he and I regularly will say, there are people who are living by the ocean. They're living with their feet in the sand. They're in tropical places. Why again are we in St. Louis?
Right? I know, right? Because we're family focused, because your mom's still around, because your family is here, because my children are here and my grandbabies are here. That is why. But that's why we go on vacation.
Right? Exactly. Yes. Right. Which we need to do, by the way. Linda Dot says, friends should be honest with you. If they're not, are they really your friend? Great question. Great comment. It's very true.
Right.
Yes. And Michelle said that you are forever 29.
Right.
Let's see. Spot on, ladies. My grandmother taught me at a very young age to be able to enjoy your own company, as there will come a time in your life when you will be alone. You need to have fun with yourself. So many things she taught me when I was young and still at my age are ingrained in me. It's very, very true. Let's see. We always had family dinners. Cell phones were put to the side during that time. I think it's very important. And then Jim. Yay, Jim. And as always, thank you for your service. Yes, for the Browns and the Blues. Support and appreciate your police and first responders. Exactly. And I know that Dot and Ron are very much behind our first responders, and I appreciate that so much. I love you, friend. Once again, give them all the information if they're looking to buy, sell, rent, or they've got somebody that needs that, how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. My number is 314-324-3317. You can go to my website and all my information there. So it's .Fleshman. That's DOTFLESHMAN.com. And you can email me at .Fleshman@cbrealty.com.
And one of our dear friends, that is a mutual friend of ours, Michelle, has done an incredible job throughout this entire hour, dropping everything you need to get in touch with Dot. So you can look through the comments if you didn't get a chance to get all of that. I love you, friend. So I know you are very faith-based. I'm going to ask you, do you have a favorite book in the Bible? Because if so, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll read from that book. Jim gave me James the other day. So we were doing James, but we have several.
I like Matthew.
You like
and
Matthew?
It's because I'm learning a little bit more about Matthew, just because, and I don't know if anyone out there has, hopefully lots of people have seen The Chosen. It's a series called The Chosen.
I know. And somebody asked about that. What's it on?
It's amazing. It's on.
Is it Netflix or Apple or anybody know?
You can download the app. It's called The Chosen. I think there's an app, right? Oh,
I don't know.
I got the wrong information. Here.
I don't know, but somebody's been talking to me about The Chosen and saying that I would love it.
Yeah, it's called, gosh, I can't even remember what it's on. But anyway, I do watch it. And right now, season 4 is actually at the theaters. But but it's what's interesting is when you read in the Bible and you're just reading things like in the New Testament, you're reading about like Matthew. But then when you watch it and you are understanding Matthew, he was the one who was always scribing and always writing in his little book. He always had a little book and he was always writing, and anything that Jesus did or whatever, he was writing. So now, as you watch that, but as you read, you're kind of understanding. I think the video part of the series, when you're watching it, it just helps me to connect it to the Bible.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like, right now it's Matthew.
Right now it's Matthew. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll do our show close, and just in honor of Dot, we'll read a little bit from Matthew. Dot Fleshman, I love you. Friendship Friday is a great idea. All right, my friend. We'll be right back. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment, or online envitahealthandwellness.com. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And welcome back. Yes, speaking of personal training, I am still taking on some clients. We had an incredible workout today, and here's what we've actually done. It's now virtual. That way, if people are in other states, even other countries, they can join us. So we're not doing as much in person throughout the week as we are doing virtual. So I give you the Zoom link and you're able to hop on with us. We've got some ideas of somebody asked me the other day, what do you think about bringing your motivational moments with Monica back and having people that are your clients work out with you? Maybe I have a headset on, I'm going around, I'm showing them the proper form, showing them how to modify, showing them how to level up, and then all of you get a chance to work out with us. Those are ideas that we have, and I actually like that. Somebody brought that up to me the other day, and I thought, that's a really great idea. Maybe we can do that. So personal training and life coaching, yes, very important for you to fill out that whole triangle and have the balance of life. We mentioned earlier about cultivating a vision, and it is part 3. If you didn't get a chance to come to 1 or 2, it's okay. You will not be behind. I do still have the recordings from those, so if you'd like to purchase them so that you can immerse yourself in your own vision, just reach out to me at info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. I'll put that up here on the screen for you, and you can get caught up. But again, if you don't and you come to cultivating a vision for part 3, you're not going to be behind. It's really just taking where you are right here, right now, and being able to carve out where you belong. Ticket prices, by the way, though, will go up after today. So they're $30, and we are keeping the whole thing about how I want to affect the younger children. So if you have kids in the house that are 18 and under, they are absolutely free. Cash and I always want to make sure that they are taken care of. So you can have them along with you, but it will go up beyond today. It goes to $35 for the next week. And then leading up to the date, which is February 21st, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 7 to 8:30 Eastern, it will go up again. So do not wait. Don't procrastinate. That's something that I hope you all learn. Any other comments? Great information, Pamela said. Thank you. I watched The Chosen, and now series 4 is out in theaters. That's what Dot was saying. So somebody said, I downloaded the app of The Chosen from the App Store and started watching it from the start. The Chosen is on Angel, which is something I hadn't even heard of. So yes, thank you, by the way, for all of that. So I told you when I'm in studio Mondays and Tuesdays that we read from the 100 Days to Freedom books, right? And then we started being able to do these really cool Bible studies and choosing different books. I told, everybody, my husband picked, like I said, James the other day. So Matthew, are you familiar with Matthew? Well, let's just begin with Matthew. Matthew 1, verse 1, the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. And Judas begat Phares, and it goes on, but it's the focus of teaching and the education of where we all began. So I was in church a few weeks ago, and it's interesting that Dot picked Matthew, and it was going through all of these levels. I mean, look at all of this. Begat, all of the levels of where did we get to where we are, and the levels. So it's kind of interesting that we're talking about friendships, right? It's the levels. I mean, look at this. We're already 10 verses in, and it just continues. And it says, the time they were carried away to Babylon. And after they were brought to Babylon, it just continues beyond that. And look, it just verse after verse after verse. That is when I was listening to the priest. Like I said, it was probably about 3-4 weeks ago. And I mean, the level of it, the depth of it is really what I want to go into. The depth of where you are in your life, the depth of where your family, your connection, your communication, it's kind of going back to that, your friendships are. So it then goes into begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. But you got to go 16 verses, 16 depths in to get to that. And so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. What a cool, I mean, again, Dot and I did not pick what she wanted to pick before we went on, but I think it's very fitting that we're talking about communication. We're talking about friendships and we're talking about levels of where we are. I want you all to understand, though, something that if you don't have a ton of generations, you don't have big families, you don't have a bunch of friends, it doesn't matter, because what matters is the people, even if it's just one that allows you to come into their heart and you allow them, you have that kind of a connection, even if it's just one, cherish that. And then it might build from there. And that person might introduce you to somebody else. But it's not about being braggadocious and saying, oh, I've got all these levels of friends. Really? Do you spend time with them? Is it cherished time? Is it focused time? Do you have patience with them? Those are the levels that I want to know. For me, yeah, I've been blessed with a lot of people, acquaintances, friends, best friends, incredible family, cousins that are my friends, clients that become friends. You heard yesterday Jules and Tracy saying that they are not customers, they're guests, right? I loved that. And it's the customer service that Dot was talking about, that these people that allow her to show them their greatest purchase in life that they're going to buy or sell, that they become friends then. She hired me as a personal trainer a long, long time ago. And here we are as dear friends all these years later. So cherish it. Understand that it's a blessing and a true privilege for someone to allow you into the depths of their heart. Understand that that is a really big thing on your shoulders. Do not in any way take advantage of that and just throw it away like it's no big deal, because it is a really powerful thing. Everybody, please, this is really important today. Go out and get your vitamin D because the sun is shining. I'm looking out our window. It's absolutely going to be gorgeous today. Beckett again with what the weather. Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist, told us that he's predicting 71 for a high. Could it creep higher than that? Could we get to the record, which is 75? Well, that's possible. If you are getting a chance to go out this weekend, maybe you go down to the Grand Parade. I want you to be careful. The police will be out there for you, taking care of you. I saw somebody earlier, I think it was Kathy, saying she's going to the Orchid Show. Michelle was telling me about that. It would be really interesting for the Missouri Botanical Garden for us to have that as a backdrop for our show. That it's just absolutely beautiful. So that's ongoing as well. And I'm seeing some of you. I'm pretty sure everybody said Chiefs. I don't think I saw anybody with the 49ers. That means that Sarah's not on, because Dr. Sarah Franco with Invita Health and Wellness is a big 49ers fan. So I know if she was on, she would be picking the 49ers. But for the most part, I've seen, okay, here we go. Kathy said Kansas City by 17. Wow. Somebody said Kansas City by 3. I say KC by 10. Are you watching for the game? Are you watching for the commercials? Oh, Pamela says Kansas City by 7. Yeah. So overall, Kansas City, though. The Chiefs, come on, bring it home. Let's go Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And yes, I'm sure that Taylor Swift will be there. I think she's got her big concert in Japan tonight, and then she's going to have to hop on a plane and get out there. The other thing was predicting if Travis was going to be asking Taylor to marry him. I don't think so, but they have been together longer than we all thought. That would be kind of kitschy, wouldn't it? And then they're in Vegas, so they said they have an Elvis chapel where they could get married. Julie says she's going to watch for the commercials. Missouri Botanical Garden Orchid Show. Yes, that is ongoing right now. So whatever you do, we'll be back and talking together on Monday and see who won the game. We'll, of course, be recapping the game. We'll recap the commercials. And then we've got Medical Monday with the Ask the Doctor segment. We're going to talk about mistletoe therapy with Dr. Sarah Franco of Invita Health and Wellness. Look it up, by the way. There's only 2 clinics, and she's one of them, that are able to do mistletoe therapy for cancer. And we're going to talk about a John Hopkins study that was done. So we're going to weigh in on that. We'll have Dr. Charles Willie from Innovare Health Advocates. And again, he wants to continue to stress the level that they go through, like many other doctors, to show you how you should be taken care of and how that protocol looks. He would really like it to get to a point where all of you are asking questions about your own health, so that maybe you even join the show. We put you on. If you don't want to actually be seen, we could put your voice on so that you're able to say, okay, Dr. Willie, this is going on. And then he'll respond, and then you'll go back and forth, and he'll give you that kind of care. And then eventually maybe you come in and he becomes your doctor. That's what I would really love. That's coming up. The team who comes to play will win. I'm watching for commercials. Yep. So we'll see who is the most driven that day for sure. One more time, I want to give away a pair of tickets to the Working Women Show, the 37th annual Working Women Show. And we're going to make it really easy. The first person who can tell me what real estate company Dot works with will get those tickets. Okay? You could probably go back and look into the comments really fast if you want to, but I really want to see if you were paying attention. Dot Fleshman, real estate agent with, who did I say? First person that's able to jump in and say that, I'll give you a pair of tickets. I hope that you're able to use them. If you can't use them, then sure, maybe you give them to a friend or a family member. But it is February 16th, 17th, and 18th. And it looks like Kathleen Morris, you were the first. Coldwell Banker, you got it, you got it, you got it. Tammy was paying attention. Kelly Lynn was paying attention. No, Terry, she's not with Kathy Kilo Peterson State Farm. She is a real estate agent. You didn't pay attention. Julie did say Coldwell. Marilyn, there you go, said Coldwell. But Kathleen Morris was the first. Congratulations, Kathleen. I will let you know how you will get those tickets. You'll get a choice of Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then all of you that want to win the VIP tickets, which is a meet and greet with myself and Allison on Friday evening. You get a chance to go throughout the weekend. You will get the chef's table with Allison as they do the little cooking. And then, of course, be able to go to the show. That's the ultimate VIP package that we'll give away on Valentine's or Galentine's Day. The only way you can do that is by going to TheRealMonicaAdams.com, go to the contact section and just fill it out, your name and your email address. And then we will be announcing that big VIP winner. 2 tickets, by the way, on February 14th. You're welcome, Kathleen. Congratulations, and thank you for paying attention. That's how easy it is. All right, everybody. Again, I hope you have a beautiful day today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll be watching that weather for you, and we will have Becca join us on Monday. Again, if it snows, I'm going to be here, and I'll have our doctors join us via a link just like Dot was. Everybody do it. Go out. Attack the world. Communicate, have patience, try to find a way to smile again and find the brightness that is shining with us with the sun, but find it within your own heart. Be anything you want to be in this world, but remember to be kind. God bless you.